All right, let's try this again. So let me try to share it back to Facebook. And let's pray it works this time. All right, so I hadn't really gotten too far on the last stream, which I deleted because it was being weird. So I'm making a Halloween design. So let me go back and see if it saved it. All right, so here, all I did so far was just name the file Halloween backdrop. So now let's see if this works. All right, so I went to PNG tree and I was trying to grab some graphics. So that I can get some ideas of how I wanted it to look. So I got the black pumpkins. Let's see what else. I really like these little 3D looking characters, so I think I'm gonna grab those. And I wanted the blood splatter. And the spiderweb. So I'm going a little fast because I was already going through this process before the Zoom messed up, or the internet messed up rather. All right, so let's grab these. And with PNG tree, I have a lifetime access, so I can download as many as I want per day. But if you do not have a membership, I believe it lets you get up to 2 downloads per day. So there's that one. And I'm just going to download PNG for all of the ones I selected. You'll see at the bottom left corner that they're downloaded. And it looks like something is going on with my internet again. I don't know. I'm not sure, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to call my internet provider because this is being weird. I really hate to not. Okay, we got something downloaded. I really hate to not do it 2 weeks in a row. Okay. Here we go. Work with. I guess I'm downloading too fast. Okay, I think I got them all. So we're going to go back to GIMP. And as you can see, here's my watermark template, my watermark and my logo. I already renamed it to Halloween backdrop. So I'm going to go to File, Open as Layers, so I can go and add those images that I downloaded to my design canvas. And it's going to be in my downloads. You can save them wherever you need them to be. And I'm just going to hold down the Shift key and click all the ones that I just downloaded and click on Open. Let me turn off my watermark so I can see. So now we're just going to play around with the sizing and the location of each layer. So I'm just going to use the Move tool, which looks like a crossbar. You see when I hover over it, it says Move tool. I'm going to move them around so we can see what all we have. Move the bat. Oh, that's a spider web. Like, what is that? It's not moving. Okay, so that's a spider web. Sorry, jack-o'-lantern. These are sunflowers. Our blood, our ghost, our grim reaper, and the tombstone. So first, I'm going to increase the size of this blood. And let's say I want it on every corner, so I'm going to duplicate as well. But first, let's change the size by using the scale tool. Scale tool looks like a small square pointing to a larger square. And then you just drag it to the size you want it to be. Make sure that the aspect ratio is locked, meaning that these two chain links are connected. I just chained them, so now I'm chaining them back. Then click on scale. And you can use the move tool to move it exactly to the corner, or the alignment tool, which will snap it into place. The alignment tool is beside the move tool. Click on that and then click on the layer, and you see a square pop up in each of the corners so that you know that the layer is selected to be aligned. And in the pop-up that shows for that tool, we're just going to go to left and top. So we just aligned it to the left and to the top. Now, if we wanted to do another black corner, let's say we want to do the bottom right corner, we're going to duplicate this layer that's selected. Click on that layer. And if you go down to the bottom of your layers window, click on the 5th icon, and it's going to say duplicate layer. So you see here in your layers window where it duplicated, it doesn't look like it did anything on our screen because it's going to duplicate right on top of the layer, the main layer. So what we can do, I want the blood splatter to go up, like be real dark and then up. So it's going to be complete opposite of how it is now. I need to use my flip tool. And if you're not familiar with the flip tool, you want to go to the icon that looks like 2 arrows pointing away from each other. That is your flip tool. And then click on that layer. And you see horizontal. This is how it flips horizontally. So I'm going to undo it so you can see what happened. So with horizontal selected, click on it. You'll see that it's going to be a mirror image. Well, not a mirror image, a flipped image. But we want this to be in the bottom corner. So then we're going to flip it vertically as well. So all we have to do is toggle to vertical. Click on it again. And now it's changed. So let's use the layer and move it to the right and then to the bottom. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Let's go ahead and save so we don't lose our work. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make a black background so I can see my spider web, because right now it's kind of blending in with the transparency. Or let's see if I can find like a graveyard background. That'd be nice. So let me go back to PNG tree real quick. So grave or cemetery. Is that how you spell it? And then let's see if they have any backgrounds. There's one, but I don't think that's gonna flow with our design. So this is just trial and error right now. Y'all are literally seeing the raw design. I don't see anything I like. So if you want to go to Etsy or something like that to find a design, you can do that as well. But let me go ahead and create our background like I said initially. So we're going to click on the very bottom layer because we want the background to be at the bottom. We're going to go to create new layer. And we're going to name this layer background. And make sure that the very bottom where it says fill with, click on transparency. Click OK. And as you can see, it created a new layer in our window, our layer window. So we can do a solid fill by using the bucket fill tool, or we can use the gradient tool. And in the window that pops up, the submenu that pops up, we can look through the presets to see if any of these will work for us. That cold steel actually might. Or the metallic something. So I'm actually going to try those first before I make a two-toned. And I'm going to change it to linear. So all you have to do to use the gradient tool is click and drag from the starting point to wherever you want your end point to be. So let's try top to bottom. That actually looks pretty neat. I wasn't expecting it to look like that. Let's see if I change the direction. And you can move these endpoints. So that's pretty cool. So you can do it that way. I'm not a fan of that white, I don't think. Or unless it can be like a smoky ground, like a fog. But let's see what this other one was. Oh, I didn't see deep sea. Let's try deep sea. Yeah, that's too close to underwater. We don't want it to look all the way underwater. So I'm literally just playing around with all the settings. Oh, I like that one. This is the metallic. So to get rid of this gradient field, like the pop-up in this line, just click inside of your design canvas. That's going to remove the pop-up, and then hit enter on your keyboard, and that's going to remove that guideline for your gradient. So now what we want to do, we just want to make sure that we add some cool text. So to add text, we're going to go to the text tool, which is a bolded capital A. Forgive me a second while you watch. I'm trying to see if I'm still on Facebook. I'm sorry for the ones of you on Zoom. No doubt my devices were being super weird today. Okay. So now we can see that the spider web is visible now, because when it was on that transparent background, it was really hard to see. So I'm just going to scale that up. And maybe we'll do a spider web in this top right corner. And then move the bat above that layer. So all we have to do is click on that bat layer and then hit the up arrow until it's above the spider web. And then I'm moving the background on accident. Let me undo. Edit, undo. And then we're going to move them around and scale them. So that's all I'm doing, literally moving everything around and scaling. Moving and scaling. So this is what I like about designing, is your own discretion till it looks. We need to move that layer up. So I'm just going to hit the up arrow until I can see it. Not really sure if I'm going to use those sunflowers. Not quite sure. Let's make the ghost big though. And let's make the Grim Reaper big as well. So I'm gonna turn this one off and this one off because I'm not sure about those right now. But anyway, I was saying, let's add some text tool, and we're gonna find, so I have a font called Zombie Holocaust. And that's like Halloween-ish. So we're gonna change your color. Let's see if we can get like some greens and smoke in here. So I have green in my background. I'm gonna find orange. So I have one already in my recently used colors. Or if you see a color on your screen that you want to use, you can do that way by using the eyedropper tool, which is beside this HTML notation. Click on that, and then I'm going to select the orange that's in this pumpkin. Click OK. So now that is our active foreground color. And then all we need to do is start typing within our canvas space. So let me click somewhere on the top. So when I start typing, our text is going to be at the top. So this is very fitting. This font is Happy Halloween. And I want it to be really big. So I'm just going to go in and highlight this text. Hit the up arrow to increase the size. Or you can go in and type a size to make it go a little faster if you know what size you want to use. Use the move tool. Or you can use the alignment tool to center it exactly. So you can see I was off just a tad. And I actually want to increase the spacing between these two layers or these two rows. So I'm going to highlight the text again. And the way that you can increase the spacing between those two rows by going to this justify section. And the larger this number is, well, of course, my computer's going to not cooperate, the more spacing it's going to be. So I'm just going to type it in since my computer didn't like the arrows just now. So you can see how the spacing is increasing. There we go. It was just a little too tight for my liking. So this is actually coming along pretty well. I feel like I need something like an image right here in the middle. But right now I'm just going to play around with my graphics that I have so far. And I want this tombstone to be above the blood spatter. So I'm just going to click on that layer and then hit the up arrow until it's above that. All right, so let's do some editing on our text. So let's say we want to create an outline. We're going to click on our text layer. Right click. If you are a Mac, you're going to hold down Control and click. And then go to Alpha to Selection. And you'll know that the selection is on because of the marching ants or the dotted moving lines, as you can see. And then we're just going to go to Select, Grow. And we're going to enter a number for the outline where we want the outline to be. Let's say we want to do 50. You play around with this. If you don't like, you can always go to undo or edit undo and then go back to select grow if you don't like the size. So you can see how much of this is going to be the outline. And let's say I don't want it to be that thick, so I'm actually going to do what I just said, edit, undo, grow selection. So let's go to select, grow, and let's go for 20. Okay, that's better for me because I want to do like a thin white outline and then add some more colors behind the white. So what we need to do next is click on add create new layer. And we're gonna go to white outline, transparency, of course. Click OK. With this outline layer still selected, we're going to use our bucket fill tool. Make sure our active foreground color is white. So I'm going to scroll in this box and go all the way to the top left corner to choose white. Click OK. And then I'm going to click inside of the selection. All right, so you can see where the bucket fill is completed, but it needs to be moved down so that it looks like an outline. So we're going to move this layer down in our layers window. And then we're going to go to select none. So now you can see the progress so far. So to make it stand out just a tad bit more, I want to add a black outline around the white. So I'm going to select the white outline, right click or control click if you're on Mac, alpha to selection. And then I'm going to grow it again, select, grow. And I want it to be just a little thinner. Create new layer. Let's name this black outline. Transparency is selected. Click on OK. Now we're going to make our active ground color black. So you can scroll all the way down to the bottom right corner, the opposite corner of the white, and then use our bucket fill tool again. So now we need to move this layer down so that it's below the white. To turn off the marching ants, we're going to go to select none so that we do not alter that anymore. Okay, so I always recommend cropping down layers when you create a new layer, because as you can see where this yellow dotted line is, that is the size of this layer. We don't want it to be, and it also makes it easier to move the layer around if we need to when it is cropped. So to crop, we're going to use our crop tool. It looks like two right angles crossed over each other to make a square. And you want to make sure that current layer only is selected. And then you just want to click and drag just outside of the outlines. And it's going to help you save space. And you can move the guides around. And then just hit enter. So you can see the size of that layer change to fit where we just cropped it to, instead of outside, encompassing the whole design canvas. So we're going to do the same thing with the white layer. See, when I clicked on it, this is now that outline guide border. We're going to crop this one as well. Hit enter on your keyboard. So now we have those two cropped layers. And now we're going to add a really cool green color as like a glow behind our so I want the glow to be around the light outline. Let's do a drop shadow because we want to do like a glow, not a harsh shadow. Somewhere like a So once this window pops up, we're going to change the color like a line. All right, sorry about that. I got booted out of Zoom for a second, but we're back. So like I was saying, we want the color to be a green. And I already have that saved in my recent colors, but I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter. So all I did was just click around. Once I clicked on this green, I just clicked around in this gradient palette. Click on OK. So you can see it's starting to create an outline already. Let me increase the opacity. So now you can see it a little better. And I'm going to increase the blur radius, which is going to make it thicker. So that looks cool. So you can play around with these different settings. So if I turn off the preview, this is without it, and this is with. And I'm actually okay with that. Looks good to me. I'll click on OK. And then I'm just going to move around our graphics a little bit more. I'm going to bring this to the front of the text. Move this one in front of the Grim Reaper. I want this ghost to be a lot bigger too. Maybe I should put the Grim Reaper by the blood. Let's see. Just playing around with it now. Let's flip him around so his blade is the other way. Oops. So if you do that, just click on it again, undo. But I had vertical selected. So let's turn it back to horizontal when I use the flip tool. Now let's flip it that way. So I think I'm liking it, y'all. And look at the glow on his hood. It's actually that same color green, so that's cool. I don't know what to do with the pumpkin head. It's just kind of floating. Let's make the bat a little bigger. And let's see which ones I turned off. Let's move it up so we can see it. Oh, those are the flowers. This is a real quick design. I actually kind of like it. I didn't know how it was going to turn out because, like I said before, I really didn't plan this design. I just knew I wanted to do Halloween and I was going to wing it. And I think I actually like it. Might add a couple more spider webs. So let's click on the spider web. Let's duplicate that layer. So you can see the duplication with the spider web. It got a little more saturated. But it's just because that's on top of the other one. I actually like that. It came together pretty well, y'all. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Let's save it. Trying to see if I need anything else somewhere. What if we do 2 bats? I'm just playing around with it now. Nah, I was trying to see on top of the blood splatter. But I think to give it like an eerie look. And I just played around with the images to increase the sizes, the dimensions, and move. So those are some of the tips for designing. You can learn more step by step, like videos, like 3 to 5 minute videos where different components of the designs are broken down. You sign up for the back blueprint. You can learn that there. But if you do not have your GIMP software yet and you just want to follow along, let me move my logo up. You can go to the link in my bio and grab a starter kit so that you can grab the free software and set it up to look like my screen. And then you can move on from there. Oops. All right, so real quick design. Let me move my watermark up. You can see at the very bottom, let's turn it on and then move it to the very top layer. And you can turn the or turn it down by clicking in this bar at the top of the layers window. You don't want to overwhelm the design with your watermark, so that looks good to me. Then I'm gonna save it. And then I'm gonna export it as a JPG file. So this is the file that you can post to your social media or send to your prospective customers. Click export again, and then you're done. All right, so that's our design tutorial for Tutorial Tuesday, and I will see you next week, if not before.